When I was younger, I loved taking my toys apart. Understanding things was my knack. So how about we take something apart together? This is a video Roaming Millennial and Steven Crowder did a little while ago. Why am I getting to it now? Because I have a life, and I'm busy. Also, Steven Crowder still expresses these sentiments at the end of his videos to this day, so I'm fine bringing it up. I'm going to skip past the first couple minutes, too much flattery for my taste, and if I wanted to see a circle jerk, I'd be on a different website that rhymes with Cornhub.
Is pretty much looking to silence people like you and myself. How has that affected your channel recently? Because there's a lot of controversy surrounding that.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was interesting when I, first heard about all the sort of the new wave of demonetizations.
It's a hard word. Don't worry.
Yeah, at first I was like, oh well, thank goodness I'm so clean. I don't curse. I don't show anything graphic. There, not even any rhymes.
Yeah.
That was my initial reaction. Then of course, one of my patrons who supports me, they said they recommended that I check my library just in case. So first page looking good. Hey, maybe YouTube's not so bad. Then when I got into some of my older videos, I saw that of course I'd had 4 videos that had been up for the longest time demonetized. And I think for a while we've known on YouTube that Islam is sort of a no-go topic if you want that monetization. But from what I've seen based on my own videos, the new ones that were hit, they're also going after race-related videos. Those were, I had a white guilt video that was demonetized, also a video talking about the alt-right. I'm not an alt-righter, I was just addressing it, but that one was hit as well.
Right.
And one about the concept of power plus prejudice, is that racism? So yeah, it seems like they've definitely expanded what they think of as unacceptable.
Well, for us, we released a video on this, 20,000 likes in 10 hours and almost no plays, right? Nothing on the trending list, where almost all our videos criticizing the Young Turks have been demonetized. And something else that's another layer that's important to notice, I don't know if you've noticed this, the revenue drop period, it's not just about the videos that are demonetized, but even the videos that are monetized, they just throttle right down. So it technically can be monetized, but if it goes from a $6 CPM to 4 cents, it might as well not be. And that's another tactic they're using. Have you noticed that?
Right, definitely. And I think what's interesting is that, people may not get, oh, what's the big deal about one video being demonetized? But YouTube, I know personally that I've experienced, when I've had videos remonetized, as soon as they're remonetized, because you can appeal to varying success if you think it was demonetized unfairly. When I see them being remonetized, the spikes in views increases immediately. Yeah. So I'm pretty much under the impression now that YouTube is favoring creators and videos that have the biggest chance of being monetized to a high CPM. So if you have this great video and it's demonetized, people might say, oh, well, who cares? Well, A, you're not getting paid for, the work you did doing the video, but also they're no longer featuring that video in search results as frequently. And it's same if your whole channel has been hit by demonetizations, guess who's going to be less likely to direct viewers to your channel? Yeah. YouTube.
So let's get into this. Roaming Millennial and Crowder are talking about, as they put it, the second round of YouTube demonetizations. What are they talking about? This is the YouTube adpocalypse. What happened is many advertisers pulled out of YouTube's advertising program, and it cost and will cost YouTube millions. Their response to this was cracking down on content that advertisers did not want to be on, giving them more specific tools to choose what content their ads go on, because advertisers, not YouTube, choose where their ads go now. Now that we have some background on the subject, let's address some points they made here. They say nice little buzzwords like silence, even though they obviously aren't being silenced, because they are literally spreading their message to 200,000 people. So that's a load of bat guano. They talk about the algorithm. I don't know how that works. They only have anecdotal evidence, and that means nothing. So I'm going to skip over that. Now, Roaming says you aren't getting paid for the video. Considering she gets 4K at this time, probably like 3K per month, you're getting paid to make videos regardless of how much YouTube gives you. And YouTube has no obligation to pay you a dime. So that's the end of that misconception, hopefully. On to the next misunderstanding. You would expect that these people would know what they're talking about considering their channel size. Disc.
You're exactly right. And here's the thing: if they just came out and said, "Listen, Naki Jared and I were talking about this." If they just come out and say, "Hey, we're a propaganda machine and we've bet everything on the left," I mean, the Young Turks are a great example. Half the YouTube studios, when they opened up, they had a whole wing to the Young Turks, right? Politicon, which is the YouTube political conference, might as well be called Young Turks Con. And people are like, "Well, why do you focus so much on the Young Turks? No one watches them." And I go, "Well, that's the point. We're beating them in views. We're beating them in time viewed, even with the lower subscribership. But YouTube still decides they're going to bet on these people, demonetize ours and monetize theirs." It'd be like any other. It'd be like if you were at a comedy club and you're the best comedian there. Not saying we're the best, but you're better than the guy who's there all the time. But the club booker says, "No, I'm going to give all the stage time to this guy all the time." It doesn't even matter that the audience doesn't laugh, and that comedy club owns the entire world's media. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just this morning I looked on the trending list of YouTube, and it said it had the Young Turks Tommy Writing video they did. It's been up for like 3 days. It has like 200,000. No, it has just under 500,000 views.
Yeah.
But it's been up for like 3 days. Right next
On the
to
YouTube homepage,
right next to the Spider-Man trailer, which has 11 million or something views.
Yeah.
So they put it right up there, like, oh, this is just as popular.
Right. Okay, shut up, Jared. I want to hear the political talk.
That's fair.
So, roaming, right, what is now? You're obviously younger. You're a little earlier in your YouTube career. Is that disheartening for you? What's your contingency plan?
Well, I mean, it's definitely disheartening. And I think, the argument that we hear from YouTube advocates, I guess, is, yeah, of course, they're a private company. They can do whatever they want. I haven't heard anyone who's critical of this say that they must be forced into, some sort of legal compliance or anything like that. This is just a matter of what kind of practices are ethical, right?
Right.
And I think, someone like me looking at this whole thing, it does seem like there's systemic censorship going on, especially when you look at any videos that are critical of things like Islam or even just more broadly now social justice. And I mean, it is scary, but on the bright side, I think we're seeing people looking for these alternative platforms that aren't going to be engaged in these sort of practices. Things like Minds.com. It's been a very popular suggestion for people to switch over vid.me, or even people like you, who are sort of creating their own platform, because I think more and more we can't trust YouTube to compensate us for our videos or even to show them at all. And yeah, I mean, it is disappointing, and I think obviously, private company, but if we look at the furor that occurred after the Christian bakery refused to bake a cake for, the gay weddings, the outrage that people were being discriminated against, services weren't being provided. If we could see that same kind of outrage for what's going on in YouTube, at least people would be consistent, but sadly that's not happening.
So this is where Crowder just straight up lies. I don't understand this. It's pretty crazy. He legit tells people he gets more views and watch time than the Young Turks. I think it's absolutely insane that he says this, considering it's completely false, verifiably a lie. Then he is fake news. Crowder isn't beating the Young Turks in anything. Poor baby really is delusional. The Young Turks have billions of views. Crowder has millions of views. The difference in those two numbers are surprising. Now, monthly, the Young Turks get tens of millions of views. Crowder will get single-digit million views. Now, he might have, decided to do this thing where, you tell a little bit, like maybe he compares their live streams on Friday nights only, which, then technically he does get more views during that small window there. But overall, Crowder gets an insanely low number of views compared to the Young Turks. Like, it's obvious why YouTube would choose the Young Turks over him. It's because people want the Young Turks and they don't want him in reality. Now, Roaming talks about how they're both getting paid a decent bit outside of YouTube. For reference, Crowder is a multimillionaire. So I don't think that the demonetizations are hurting them that bad, and how they are paid through alternative means, and how they are looking for worse platforms to be on, like the Maven, because the Maven is definitely gonna somehow blow YouTube out of the water. And she makes a really weird comparison between demonetized creators and the gay couple that the bakery refused to make a cake for. The only issue here is that the owner of that business was refusing to take legal tender to bake a cake for this couple, which I believe was their right. But the thing is that Roaming and Crowder aren't giving YouTube payment to do anything. They're putting their content onto YouTube's website, and it's YouTube's decision what they do from there on. They're not being refused based on their sexual preferences. Advertisers just don't like them.
YouTube has the same problem. Here's the main issue with YouTube. They can do whatever they want, but they're still claiming that it's not about ideology. They're still claiming it's about sponsors. First off, no one really believes that. If Target doesn't want to be on your video, you don't think that, I don't know, the NRA or Smith & Wesson or Pro-Life Women's March, they'll pay 10 times the amount to be on your video, but YouTube shuts out a lot of conservative advertising.
And here comes Crowder. Again with the BS. He says that Smith & Wesson and a ton of other conservative advertisers will pay 10 times as much to be on their videos. So I'm gonna ask one simple question. Why aren't they on your videos advertising? What's stopping them from paying you to be in your video as an ad that you run? Or is it they don't actually want to advertise with you? Oh man, that would be awkward if you were just lying again. Like you get more views than the Young Turks. Yeah. So that's the end of what you will see of those two charlatans on my channel. And Crowder, YouTube owns you, stop bitching. The Young Turk are bigger, get more views, and probably lie less than you do. And Roaming, if you would increase your production quality over time instead of decreasing it over time, you might make more money, since we all know what you both care about is cash, because you two are both greedy liars. Now we're going to talk about Philip Defranco. I really liked this guy before he started asking people for money and doing it in a super scummy way. I didn't really have a problem with him asking for money, honestly. Okay, for starters, he said that he was going to start a news network, and he has done nothing publicly, even though he was fine asking for tons and tons of money publicly. So that's, meh. But then he doesn't show how much money he gets from the people giving him this much money, and it's an insane amount of money. It's 50,000 guaranteed per month to 200 to 500,000. Those are the types of numbers we're talking here. There's no small amount here. So for him not to show that it's really scummy in my opinion. That's like fake news levels of, nah, that's not cool, bro. And he hasn't even given a public outline of what he's gonna do. He has just said news network, which means to me, another channel after he's kicked off of his main one that he sold. Only this time, he has a lot of money he got from viewers. Honestly, have some vision. He could say, we're scouting talented YouTubers in every major city, and what we're gonna do with this money is take their content to the next level. We're gonna get them better software, better equipment. We're just gonna, boost their content through the roof, and then they're gonna be making content for us. But he's not saying that, and that's why I think this venture has been pretty scummy so far. So, do you guys and gals agree, disagree with me? Tell me in the comments down below what you think. Am I spewing lies? Feel free to tell me. Like the video, feel free to like it. Think there's more to be said on this subject? Hit me up in my Discord and tell me personally what you think. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next video.